Donnajodhan presents Ask Donna, a weekly podcast on a plethora of topics and tips. Donna's podcast is split into 4 distinct sub-podcasts. The first week of the month is where Donna hosts her Ask the Bloggers podcast on such topics as overcoming bullies and bullying, tips on entrepreneurship, and protecting oneself from scams and scammers. The second week of the month is where Donna hosts her Ask the Coach podcast. A bit of this, a bit of that from her monthly Did You Know diary. The third week of the month is where Donna hosts her Ask the Homemaker podcast. Tips on everyday hints to help you take advantage of natural remedies and solutions. And the fourth week of the month is where Donna's podcast is all about her product review and a book review. Sit back and enjoy.
Hello, and welcome to the Ask Donna podcasts for July 2024. Yes, indeed, we are up to the month of July and the first week of July. I'd like to welcome all of my listeners, and I want to tell you that my listenership is increasing steadily. I want to thank everyone for continuing to drop in to listen to me and for all of your emails that you keep sending to me. Keep on sending them, and I would be more than pleased to engage and communicate with you, because it is only through you and with you that I can continue my podcasts. So it's the first week of July, and I hope that everyone has been enjoying a really relevantly good summer, or good summer thus far. We had a great spring, and now it's time for summer, okay? So, how is everybody doing today? How are you doing? How are you going? What's happening in your neck of the woods? Folks, I'd like to thank you once again for dropping in, and keep your emails coming to me at askdonnaonblindlife@gmail.com, or to my personal email address, which is donnajodhan@gmail.com, and it is DONNAJODHAN. Okay, and thank you to my brother in Montreal, Mike. Mike, I hope you're doing good. Hi to you and your wife, Heather. Heather, I hope you're keeping Mike in check. But anyway, let's get started for this week. And first, I will outline the main podcasts that I will be sharing with you for the month of July. Okay? So the features for this month are as follows. For week 1, it would be Ask the Blogger, where you will be asking me all kinds of questions. Week 2, I will be coming to you as the coach, where you will be asking the coach. Ask the coach. Week 3 would be all about asking the homemaker, where I would be sharing some really interesting tips with you, practical, logical, and natural tips and remedies for you to use around the home. Okay? And for week 4, it's going to be Ask the Reviewer and Ask the Writer. Ask the Reviewer is where I come to you with a product review, a book review, and Ask the Writer is all about me giving you a review of how you can start up certain types of businesses. Okay? Before we get down to business, I just want to let you know about my Etsy announcement, ETSE announcement. I kicked off this initiative in the month of June, and now we're up to the month of July. And it's all about me not just asking you to take a look at my products on Etsy. I am called Blindly Brilliant. It's not about just selling my product. I want to encourage you. I want to motivate you to sell your own products on Etsy. And I will be respectfully saying that my products will help to enhance and enrich your tables, okay? Your dining table and your food, your sandwiches, your salads, your pasta, your corn on the cob, anything like that. Condiments, So, give a listen to where you can go and read more about my announcement. Blindly Brilliant is what I call myself. Write to me at askdonnaonblindlife@gmail.com or to donnajodhan@gmail.com, and you will see my announcement, or I will send you my announcement. You can also listen to the playlists of Etsy announcements on my YouTube channel, and you can also find me on Apple and Spotify. All right, so Ask the Blogger, that's good old me. And before we get started, I want to share with you some questions from listeners. Okay, here comes the first question. The listener would like to know if I can give an example of a manager bullying a subordinate. My example is this one. When a manager wishes a subordinate to either work overtime with no pay or to do tasks that are really not in their list of tasks to be done or in their work plan. That is when we find that a manager is bullying a subordinate. He is using his role as a manager to lord it over the subordinate, and this is how he bullies the subordinate. Next question. How does one test the market for entrepreneurship? Before you even do that, you need to be very clear in your mind that you want to be an entrepreneur. And what type of entrepreneur? Selling a product, selling a service, selling information, like being an information broker. So before you test the market, you need to answer some very deep questions to yourself, or find the answers to these questions. How committed are you to wanting to test the market? And what are you testing for? Why are you testing? And how are you going to go about testing the market? So before you even think of testing the market, you got to think of what are you testing for? Why are you testing? How are you going to test? And where are you going to test? Okay. Next question. Listener would like to know my opinion on gift certificates versus getting compensated through cash or, through money instead of a gift card. There are different ways to look at this, and I say this. I would prefer to receive compensation, monetary compensation, because oftentimes the gift cards that are offered are to places where I really don't shop, or the websites of these places like Amazon, for example, or other places are not always accessible to me as a blind/vision impaired person. However, I understand that gift cards can help those who are on income support programs or social support programs, and they're not supposed to be working for more than a certain amount of money. So a gift certificate is a good way to compensate them for work done. Okay, I hope this answers the question. Let's start with bullying and bullies. Bullying by the customer. Believe it or not, there are customers that bully customer reps on the phone and even online. When a customer raises their voice at the customer rep, this is, or it could be counted as bullying. So if you're on the phone with your customer rep and all of a sudden you start to raise your voice at the customer rep or customer agent, you are engaging in bullying. When the customer threatens, if the customer says, "I'm going to report you to your manager," that is a threat. Or, "I'm going to put you on social media," that is a threat. That can be seen as bullying. when the customer demands, the customer says, I want, instead of saying, may I have or could I have. If the customer says, I want this and I want it now, that could be seen as bullying through the customer demanding. Okay? Next, we are going to go on to entrepreneurial tips. Who is right for entrepreneurship? And that's a very general question, I would say. Who is right for entrepreneurship? You've got to have the passion for entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is not something to be taken lightly, okay? It is something that you really want. You have a desire to engage in entrepreneurship. It could be something external or something internal. Internally, I mean by, you really want to fulfill a desire. Externally means you want to have a career change, you want to be your own boss, you want to be closer to your family at home, you are tired of the traffic, and you want simply not to be traveling too much anymore. Those are external factors for you to consider. Okay? But the internal factors, passion. Why are you passionate about something? Is it something that someone has told you that needs to be done, or you simply want to fulfill a dream or a wish? It could be an interest. You're interested in selling something or providing a service. That is an internal factor. And like I said, external conditions, it could be anything from wanting to be your own boss, to wanting to have a change in career, to being tired of the gridlock, to being, you want to be closer to home, you want to work from home because you got kids to look after, maybe a sick parent or anything like that. Okay? All right, let's go to the next session or section. Tips on scams and scammers. Beware of any real estate agent who wants to buy or sell your home. Personally, I would not want to work with any private real estate agent. I would prefer to work with a real estate agent who is affiliated with or associated with a reputable realty company or realtor company. Check out your real estate agent very, very, very carefully. Get references, make sure that these references all check out. But what's happening these days is that you have real estate scammers just roaming around us, trying to catch our attention, saying, I could sell your home for a great price, or I can find a home for you to buy at a great price. Do not fall for this, please. Check them out. And as I said, I would prefer to go with someone who is affiliated with or associated with a reputable realtor company or real estate company, whatever you want to call them. Okay? All right. These real estate agents usually come to you in the form of phone calls. They are often independent, and their offer, if you take the time to really investigate or check it out, doesn't really ring true. Okay? That is my tip for this week on scams and scammers. Right. Here are my thoughts for today to close off this week's podcast. I feel as if I'm between a rock and a hard place. For whereas the self-checkout is convenient in very many ways, it is not convenient for someone with a disability who has problems reading the screens, because there is no option on these screens for a blind or vision impaired person to hear what's on the screen. Seniors often have difficulty engaging and interacting with self-checkouts. Okay? Other persons with disabilities have the same challenge/problem. So whereas checkouts or self-checkouts are convenient for companies, they think they cut down on expenses, they're also depriving employees of jobs that they really, really need. My final thought on this is that I do not like self-checkouts. I don't think they suit me. I don't think, that they're very good for many, many customers/consumers. Okay? And the other thing is, when I sit between a rock and a hard place, the other thing I find is that there's no help with packing. So is it easier for someone who knows how to use a self-checkout to go there and pack their own goods, whereas if they went to a cashier and tried to pack their own goods, the cashier is not going to help them out. The cashier is just simply going to fling everything down the carousel and you got to pack your own stuff. And if you are blind or vision impaired, a senior or a person with a disability, woe unto you. You're not going to get any help. If you wish to learn more about my advocacy, you can visit www.sterlingcreations.ca, sterlingcreations.ca, or you can learn about me by going to www.donnajodhan.com. At my sterlingcreations.ca, the blogs give you a fair idea of the types of topics that I advocate for. Okay? Send me an email to askdonnaonblindlife@gmail.com or to me at donnajodhan@gmail.com. That's it for me for this week, folks. I thank you for dropping by to listen to me. Week 1 of July 2024. Thank you very much. Don't forget to check out my Etsy announcement. Write to me and I will send it to you, or go on YouTube and visit the Etsy playlist. All right? You guys have a great rest of the day, a great rest of the week, and I will see you next week. Stay safe and do take care. Bye for now.
That's it for this week. Donna hopes that you enjoyed her podcast today. She thanks you for having taken the time to tune in and looks forward to being with you next week. Send your thoughts and feedback to Donna at askdonnaonblindlife@gmail.com.